Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Phoning It In. I'm Michael Carvelli, joined this week for another two-man show by a very dapper-looking John Terry
Thank
wearing
you. Thank
wearing a
you.
real shirt. He made me say that so that my mom would notice, I guess.
That's the reason I left it on. You know, I get made fun of for looking like a cold like little child with my hats on and stuff
I mean,
and
it's a
my
long-sleeve
coats.
shirt, so technically you could be wearing it for warmth.
This is true. I did just turn off my heater. I don't know if you heard the beeps. Um, I had a video meeting that I needed to look somewhat presentable for, so I put on a shirt. I'm wearing sweatpants as well, of course, and then I left it on for the sole purpose of Donna watching this and thinking highly of me.
There you
So,
go.
you know, I do what I can.
But yeah, we are here for another 2-week show. I feel like, it's funny, like Nick of course is away. They have some doctor's appointments this week and a bunch of other baby stuff because it's getting to that point where they're like 2 to 4 weeks away. Like it's most likely going to happen this month.
Which is wild. Like, what are you gonna do when it goes down? I'm gonna be so pumped and I'm gonna be nervous. I think I'm gonna be really nervous
I'm
for
gonna take
him.
like a couple days off work.
Pour one
To
out to
celebrate
young
with him.
Narth. Man, I'm like nervous for him. I can't imagine how he's feeling.
Oh, I
Like, can
know.
you imagine knowing?
I
Like,
think
it's funny for like the last couple of weeks, he's been like, "Yeah, this is gonna be my last weekend where I can like play video games and all this stuff." Can you imagine having that like countdown?
I know.
Knowing like, dude, that man is, and it's probably easier. It's an easier transition because like, I mean, his wife's been pregnant. Like things have probably been different. Like they've been preparing for it. It's not like flip of a switch. Holy shit, I'm responsible for a human life.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it's also it's one of those things though where like first off, I'm sure I would be just like petrified. I would be very nervous, obviously, just because I'm nervous about like most things in life.
Right.
But I do think like, and he was kind of talking to me about it like this, where it's like you can only take so many classes, you can only get so many things to prepare. Like at a point, they're at the point now where like they are as ready as they are going to be. They're as ready as they need to be. And then from there is just going to be like intuition.
I just had an amazing idea for a podcast episode.
Okay.
And I was going to save this
Have
to
the
tell you
baby.
after the show.
Have
We
the
could
baby.
do that, but I didn't want to get shot down on the show. But I feel confident about this. So we've talked many times about like once this baby happens, like we probably need to come up with
Mm-hmm.
some guests,
Yeah.
because like we can only do the 2-man for so
Yeah.
long, and like the last thing Nick needs to be doing is worrying about us.
Right.
I think we should go find a relatively new parent, a father, and have him explain what Nick is going through on week 1 of this baby. Like no sleep, having poop explosions in your face when you're trying to do a diaper. You got fluids coming out all 3 parts of the body. I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure we can find somebody.
Yeah. Anyways, man, I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's wild. Like
It really is.
it's wild.
exciting times.
It's here. It's here.
I
It's
know.
here. I think the other thing, yeah, it's here. I'll leave it at that.
But yeah, so let's get into what we had planned for this week. We've got a few things on our list. Go ahead. What?
Wait, I said I was going to start with this, but at the end of last week's show, we discussed your sleeping habits.
Mhm.
And we discussed how we told you to wake up. Basically, you need to go to sleep earlier. So you need to wake up earlier.
Mhm.
And what do you know? The next day, I got a text message from you at 5:34 in the morning, Central Time,
Yeah.
6:30 your time, and you're like, I woke up at 6:30 a.m. And
There
you
you go.
watched a whole movie, which is phenomenal, before you started work. And then it happened the next day too. So my question is,
Well, no, it didn't.
maybe it was 2 days later it happened.
Well,
It's
so
happened.
listen, here's the thing though. The thing that I said was like I want to try to wake up early on days that I work. Right. We recorded that podcast on Wednesday. Therefore,
Right.
I woke up early on Thursday. And then I actually took Friday off and then slept in for the weekend. And then Monday, I also woke up early. And then today, I woke up, but then I went back to sleep.
I was gonna say because we didn't get that text message today.
Today
so
I was up by
just
like
curious.
today I was up by like 7:45.
I mean, that's still pretty impressive. But the question is, what time were you going to sleep at? Like, what time did you go to sleep at on Monday night? Because the key was not to wake
Monday
up
night?
early. It was so that you would go to sleep
Monday
earlier.
night?
Yes.
So like when I woke up late today?
Yes.
Later.
Okay. So still, I'm impressed, man.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm
I
not
would
gonna.
say I would say yesterday I was probably up until like 1:30.
Oh shit, dude. No wonder you wanted to sleep in. You still got 6 hours though. I was very impressed with that because I have real trouble waking up in the morning. This morning I rolled over
Typically
it.
when I'm up, I'm good.
See, I wish I had that strength, man. Like your alarm goes up and you're just boom.
It's just a
I
matter
get
of like
up.
getting. It's a matter like the issue I ran into today was that I stayed in bed.
Mm.
If feet are on the ground, I'm good.
See, my problem is I roll over and I open that TikTok app.
Yeah.
And then I just lay in bed watching TikToks for like 45 minutes. When if I'm going to lay in bed for 45 minutes, I might as well just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I
woke up and looked at Twitter today and then put my phone down and ended up just dozing back off for a little bit. But the other days I woke up and like got up and made coffee and then I was good. Went downstairs, watched my movies both days. I think that's what I'm just going to do those days. Like when I wake up early, it's like, if I'm up 2 hours before I have to work, then
throw on the film, man.
why not?
Yeah.
Watch a movie, watch a couple episodes of a show. I don't know.
My go-to's been West Wing at night when I stay up late working.
There you go.
Get through series,
Nick and I have been doing a rewatch of How I Met Your Mother.
I've never actually seen that whole thing.
It's so good. It has issues at the end. I have issues with the way it ended, but it's really good getting there.
Have you ever watched Big Bang Theory?
No.
I get Big Bang Theory mixed up with How I Met Your Mother.
That's such a gigantic insult. Such an insult.
Maybe I haven't seen any of How I Met Your Mother. Maybe I've seen How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is Ted Mosby, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. They're kind of similar. Like
no, they're not.
In the type of show and like the set.
And that they have characters and
they're based in an apartment building in
It's
New York
about
City.
friends.
Yeah.
Then sure.
Fair point. Anyways.
But no. No, that's been, I'll try to get back on it tonight. Who knows? We'll see.
I felt bad the other night. I was texting you and you weren't responding. And I was like, oh, he's not responding because he went to sleep early. This is great. And then I woke up and you had responded to me after I fell asleep. And I was like, God damn it.
When was that? I can't remember that.
I don't know. Sunday night, maybe?
Oh, the night. Was it when you guys were watching the movie?
Yes, it was that night. Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha. I don't know. But yeah, so I wanted to get into this week. We both had interesting weekends.
Yes, we did.
As in this return to quote unquote normal.
Everyone's like, like quarantine was like lockdown, like all these phrases. The new phrase is quote unquote normal.
Yeah. To semi-normalcy.
What did you do?
So I went to Pittsburgh. I met up with our good friend Matt Sunday. We went to watch the 10th anniversary re-release of the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World in probably the nicest movie theater I've ever been to.
Really?
It was awesome. Movie was very good. It's one of my favorites from that year. It was a lot of fun to get to see it on the big screen again. But then after that, the plan was he had told me about this brewery that they go to a lot up there. He's like, yeah, afterward we can go and get some wings.
What's the name of the brewery?
Rusty Gold.
Cool. Just curious. Gonna look up
And
their beers.
I assumed you were typing it in to
Yes.
look it up. So as we're on the way there, he's like, "Hey, is it okay? It's cool that my wife comes." And I was like, "Of course, yeah." Like I had met his wife once in passing, but we had never really gotten to meet before.
That's good because I feel like we hear about. I mean, like we
I've
hear about her
talked
all
to
the time.
several
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. But and then so it's it's going to be the three of us, and then they get another call, and I guess some of their other friends had dinner plans that fell through for different reasons, and they were like, "Is it cool if they also come?"
And what are you gonna say?
Well, I mean, she was asking Matt if it was okay.
Okay.
And Matt
Gotcha.
said
Gotcha.
yes. So it became a group of like 8 now, and all but everybody except for Sunday, and it actually ended up being one other person who I used to work with in Clarksburg at the newspaper, was also there.
Okay.
But everybody else I'd never met before. And it was like the first, like, I think the way I phrased it to you guys in the text was like the first post-pandemic, like exhausting social situation that I've been in.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah. And I want to say, saying it's an exhausting social situation sounds like it has a negative connotation to it. It was a blast.
No, I think you said something to me. This is what I fell asleep to, actually, I think. All right, I woke up the next morning with a text about this, and you were like, I forgot what it felt like to just be on a high after being able to hang out with people or something like that. Yeah, no, definitely. I got you. Were these people vaccinated? Like, did you know if they were vaccinated? Do you know anything about these people? Like, what was that like?
All but one or two of them.
Okay. So
yeah,
in
all but one or two of them. And I will say this was not intended because I did not know that until they were, until we were like there for a while and it came up. But the people who weren't were like on the other end of the table from me.
Oh, perfect.
But no, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Like it had been more than a year, and this also maybe sounds bad, but you'll know what I mean when I say it. Like the first time I've had to be on.
Yeah. You're not just like sitting on your, totally.
Like you guys, I love being around you guys. I love talking to you guys. I will talk to you guys every day, all day, if I get the chance to. And I basically annoy you guys to the point that I do a lot of times.
No.
But there are times where like if I'm feeling out of it and like you guys still want to hang out or whatever, when you're with like good friends, you can kind of be on coast.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have to really be, you can kind of just go through the motions a little bit. But when you're meeting new people for the first time, you want to like show your personality. You want to like be, you want to be a good version of yourself.
Right. You also you don't want like them to like go back to Matt and be like, who's your friend?
He's lame.
Just, yeah. Because you've done that to other people before. Like, who's your friend who
never.
like, I'm sure I have.
I would never ever.
Wow. So you sit there, you have a few beers.
The other thing we did, we shut down the brewery. We were there until close. We were there actually like a half hour after close, technically.
And it looks like closing at this place would be 10 o'clock on Saturday night.
We left around, I would say we walked out between 10:30 and 10:45.
Woo, man, what time you get home at? Like midnight?
12:30.
Damn, dude.
And that was with a stop. I stopped to use the bathroom.
Nice.
Stopped to urinate. So it was good. It was great. It was a blast. Had good wings. I got an order of wings to eat there, and then I ordered another order of wings to take home to have for lunch the next day. James
Michael Carvelli III, always thinking ahead.
Got to do it. But it was so much fun. It was like I've played trivia with friends a couple times before, and that was a blast and whatnot, but it was very fun to get to like experience that high of being around new people and being around like a big group of people again. And I guess, when we play trivia, we're with like 6 people, but still.
What kind of the brewery? Do they have like socially distant seats, or was it like normal?
It was pretty normal.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they weren't like it was a small-ish place.
You weren't like packed in. Yeah, like
People
you go to
weren't
some
like on
breweries.
top of each
Okay,
other. We
got
had
it, got it,
plenty
got
of
it,
room.
got it. Like you're like tasting the sweat that's dripping down off the
No,
guy
it,
behind
yeah, it
your
wasn't
skin.
that bad.
Okay. Damn, dude, it's exciting. We also went to a brewery on
Nice.
Saturday. It was a brewery and cider house. Was our first time to a restaurant in over a year.
Yeah.
First time since we moved to Chicago. And we ate outside still, and it was just the two of us. But it was fun. It was weird. It was just weird, man. Like when you're back, I thought I was going to be nervous being around people, and I wasn't. And I know I've been like out and about with work. Like I've been with the people. I thought it was more weird, like with the restaurant staff, actually. Like when they come take your order, it's like you pull your mask up really quickly or whatever. I wasn't like, the tables were pretty spread out and I was outside, so it felt fine. But yeah, it was fun. It was all fun. And, I forgot what it felt like to get a check at the end of a meal.
Yeah.
I got the
did
check.
not do that.
I got the check and I was like, well, I enjoyed everything up until this point. I forgot this part. It was fun though. Didn't like their beer. Their beer wasn't very good. Their cider was okay.
This beer was pretty good. The beer I only had one. It was good.
It was like, they only had like 3 beers and they had like 5 ciders. And cider was fine. The beer was like nothing special. We then walked home.
I had like an amber ale. It was pretty good.
I had a lager and it tasted like an amber ale, actually. I don't know. I don't know. We walked home afterwards, stopped by a liquor store, got some Boddington's Pub Ale to watch the Aston Villa game where they beat Everton 2-0. We moved a TV to the porch. I think I sent you a picture. And we watched soccer on the porch for 2 hours, drink all day. I was in bed by 9 o'clock and woke up Sunday with a massive hangover. So I finished myself the whole 4-pack of Boddingtons on top of the beers that we had at the cider and brewery. It just was not great.
Yeah.
So it was fun though, man. It was a fun day. It felt like a normal day. Like that's what a Saturday should be. You just go out and you have a brunch and this place had food too. We had shrimp and grits. You go out and you get brunch and you drink a little bit. And it just felt like, you could just feel it.
Yeah. It's feeling great. I don't know.
It felt more normal than I thought it was going to. I just hope it stays that way. Like I hope it continues to progress and stay that way as we continue to live more in the normal.
Yeah, man. So what do you got going on now? I think it's funny now to like have
things
plans
to talk about. So I joined a softball league in Chicago. It was a buddy. He lives in Chicago. He used to work at Washington and he lives in the suburbs, and he invited me to join his softball team. So I don't know anyone except this one guy. Wednesdays softball. So I didn't realize it started this week, but I got an email yesterday and it was like the first game's on Wednesday. So I got to go up to Deerfield, Illinois, which is like 30 minutes away to play in the softball game tomorrow. I'm horrible at softball too, by the way.
We talked about you can't really be horrible at it.
I'm pretty bad. They sent out this questionnaire and I was like, just throw me, catcher or outfield. Like
that's
I don't want anything.
I played catcher. See, catcher's the one. Catcher, outfield can be tough because people are going to hit it hard out there. Like that's the thing. When I played like our first couple years of college, and I played catcher, and my entire games were spent just sitting behind the plate, making jokes to the umpire, talking like very sarcastic trash talk to the other teams, just joking with people. And like, I did not have to do anything.
That's kind of like, I found my glove last night. I thought I had lost my glove, but I found my glove. I'm just embarrassed I'm going to make a fool of myself because I don't like know anyone. Like earlier you talk about having to like turn it on when you're around people or whatever. I'm nervous not only about turning it on, but I'm nervous about being so bad that everyone hates me. So we'll see. I've never done like an adult. I did an adult kickball league once, which was a lot of fun, except like it turned into, have you ever done any like adult sports leagues or like anything like that?
The closest I've done, it's never been a league, but like, a few times where like I've had weekly pickup games,
I just hate. So for me, we're in
which
this
is terrifying.
They
I know exactly what you mean because like it was I played a pickup game. I didn't play every week. It was like a thing where you kind of I was an alternate
you. Oh, okay,
in
got it.
Charleston. Like when Cody lived in Charleston, his bosses had a game where they only invited 12 people to play every week because they wanted to do a game of 5-on-5 with like a couple subs who could rotate in and out when people just needed to take a game off, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they didn't want more people to come than that. So they would only invite 12. And then when one of those 12 would say no, somebody else would get a call. I was one of the alternates for that game. So I'd play like probably once a month, twice a month there.
I
think before all this happened, I had one, sometimes maybe 2 weekly games here.
Those leagues are so much fun. My problem is they always get too competitive. And when it gets too competitive, it's fun to a point, except then it gets like not fun because people take it too seriously and people get pissed at each other. And it's just, it sours really quickly. And I was in this kickball league and the same thing happened. Like we were really good. We got to the championship. It was just like not fun anymore because it felt like, you had to win or whatever. So I just hope this softball league doesn't get like that. But yeah, no, we'll see what happens. So tomorrow at this time, we'll be wrapping up game number 1. And hopefully I don't have a black eye.
You'll be fine. I was so like, because I knew I sucked. I was bad. Like I was our worst player, which is why I was the catcher. Because it's also where they put the worst player. But it was, because I knew I was bad, I like was obnoxious with it. I wore eye black and like smeared it. Like I did like the smeared eye black and like wrist tape with like messages written on it and stuff like that. It was a blast.
Part of me was thinking, so I thought the same thing about the outfield, and part of me was thinking like maybe second base is a good position because like I can throw and like I like to dive after balls. I just don't like the hard balls, and I feel like the left side of the infield gets like the righties, right? Yeah. They get like the righties who like crush the ball. They're not a ton of lefties.
That's fair.
And second base and shortstop for that matter, like you can play on the grass a little bit, like you can sneak back a little bit and just play the angles.
Yeah.
But then I was like, nah, throw me in right field.
You're gonna want to catcher. You're gonna.
I like the idea of catcher more and more.
Yeah,
because
there's really, like I said, there's no. You might occasionally get a play at the plate.
Right, but then you can just yell at someone for taking too seriously. Like, come on, bro, what are you doing? Why are you sliding into the plate? It's afternoon adult softball. I just been
meaning generally like a play at the plate. Like someone is running home and a ball's gonna come to you.
Right. No, I know. And I was just saying you could.
I'm not even talking like hard slides or anything.
Got it.
But like no one is really stealing, you're not going to have anything where you've got to be like on your toes. Like you're just kind of hanging out.
I'm just going for fun, man. I'm going to like meet people. I don't even care. Honestly, I don't even care if we have more than people can play in the field. Like I'm cool. Just like chilling on the sidelines, man, being outside. Like I'm doing this to like make friends, honestly. Yeah. So,
man, that's exciting. That's a cool thing. I'm excited. I've been, and it's something I told Nick about, like, I've been so excited to get back to, like, playing basketball or, like, doing stuff like that again.
When do you think you're going to start doing that?
I would imagine probably sometime in the summer.
Fauci says you can do it now if you...
Yeah, I know. It's an odd thing. Like, I think you're good. Like, softball is fine, I think. Because, like, ultimately, you're close to people, but like it's not physical.
Yeah, right. And the only thing you're touching is like a bat and a ball, and you can bring some hand sanitizer for that and whatever.
Like with basketball, like you're defending somebody in the post and you get like their gross sweatiness all over you. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
I'm a little.
It's indoors.
Yeah, that too. So I'm imagining like, in a couple months, probably I'll feel good about it.
You know what I really want to join?
I've been getting back out doing it by myself. I've been getting out shooting a little
shooting
bit.
The hoops. You still live across the street from a hoop.
They just like made it nice. Like a few months ago, they like put down new blacktop and they painted actual like
lines. You got
free throw
nets
line
too.
And stuff like that. It's great.
I want to join a soccer league like really badly. But I'm so bad. A couple years ago, like when Dave and Tony are friends, like they were on that soccer team, and I was always so jealous of that. I was like, that looks like so much fun. They're just like kicking around a soccer ball. So I want to do that, but sorry, had too much bubbly water. But I don't want to do it with like people I don't know because I'm just nah. So we'll see.
Real quick, because I just noticed something. I know we have other stuff on our outline to get into, and we can get back. If you have anything else with this, we can.
No.
I'm noticing in your room there, you've copied me.
Yes, I have copied you. For what it's worth, I sent you pictures of me copying you.
Yeah, but this is like me seeing it.
Yeah. So it's I mean, you're not gonna be able to see it really.
You can you can tell what it is.
Yeah. So it's a bunch of my credentials from the years. So I have like some West Virginia stuff along the side here, and then I got some stuff on the bottom, like the first credential of an event I ever worked. Like it was a softball game. Actually, it was a softball regional against the University of Washington.
Oh, whoa, that's cool.
Or not. Yeah. I may have made that up. That might have been the following year. But anyways, then I got like a Final Four credential up there. Got some Atlanta United stuff, some of all the bowl games, Auburn, that basketball game in Vegas where Bob Huggins won his 400th game or 500th game. Right. So yeah, no, I did copy you. I do have, so I hung this thing up, right? And it's interesting when I've been hanging things up, I've been very nervous about like them falling. And I was like paranoid for the longest time. I'm constantly
terrified of it.
And so I just like sat here and I was like, do I hear anything? Like, is it about to come crashing to the ground? Especially like something like this where there's glass. Like I don't want it to break. Yeah.
Well, and that's especially mine. So for people listening, I have a similar,
I copied them.
Similar wall situation. It's a big frame like that. It was a graduation gift from my parents. My mom spent all this time taking like all the credentials, and mine also has like all of the photos too.
Right. Mine does not have, I'm jealous that yours has photos.
It's got photos from all of our different trips and stuff like that she printed out from like Instagram or Facebook or everything like that.
Stalker.
Yeah, I know. But it looks great, but it's a gigantic frame and it's on a wall that is like, my work desk and like computer monitors are right here as well. And I'm like constantly like once or twice a day, I'll like kind of take a look up and down it and see if everything seems to be okay. And no issues yet, which is good.
No, yeah, it's just like it's nerve wracking and like it seemed heavy. I didn't find a stud with this thing, and I hung it up and I was like, is this right? And then to make matters worse, I put the credentials on that backboard like the wrong way. Yeah. So when I went to hang it up, I had to put like my own little nails and wire on the back of the frame. So I thought they were going to fall out. It was just a thing. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Nice.
I kind of, yeah, it's in like a good location too. It's like, it's in a saw. I did have to unplug. You see this light right above me. I had to unplug that light bulb because the glare coming off the light bulb on the glass was making Zoom just like undoable.
Yeah.
So, but it is a little bit darker, but what can you do?
That's cool. And I might have not paid attention and you said this, so I apologize if I pulled a John Terry for a second.
It's okay.
But, are you doing one for like, are you planning on doing a separate thing with like your U.S. soccer stuff?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, probably got some time on that one. I've started a picture.
Right. Yeah.
So I've started a picture wall. I'm putting up
I feel like you might be able to even do it by like, almost by like World Cup cycle.
Yeah. So a lot of our credentials are just, we get one credential for the entire year.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Right now we're not because of COVID, but I am doing a thing on another wall, and I put an 8x12 canvas print of the first time I go to a stadium.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited about that. But yeah, we'll see. I got like some other like random stuff that I want to like put somewhere. Like I got a bunch of like Final Four stuff. I have like a bunch of like weird ticket stubs from stuff. I have some jerseys so far from like the U.S. soccer stuff that I want to put somewhere. Like some soccer balls. Like, I don't know. I got like some random stuff. I still got to find places for it, but yeah, that was the big one to get through, to get that up and get those credentials in a safe place. Honestly, they've just been in a plastic bag for the last decade. So,
right. Yeah. That's the thing that like, why I was glad that she figured out how to do something with mine, were just because they were sort of all just kind of stuffed into a drawer or a
Right.
box or whatever.
And it's like you lose them and it's
Yeah.
bye-bye.
And especially when there are like cool ones, like the good ones you want to do something with, but you just have no idea.
So that was tough when I was going through it and I laid it all out. I think I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
I had so many, and to me, all of them are like, there's a story behind all of them.
Yeah.
But then it was like when I started getting into it, it's like the Big East Championship, like that's a good one, or like the Auburn football game, like that's a cool one, or like the Gator Bowl, like Bobby Bowden's last game, like that's a cool one. So they're just, I didn't hang up all of them, but I got to hang up a lot of them.
I'm glad this is happening now because it always happens where we do the show and then we stop the show, and I remember then like 8 different tangents that I wanted to go on and forgot. But this is going to help me go on one now because I'm looking at this at our thing, and at first I was like counting up all the ones that like you were in and Nick was in, whatever. A ton of stuff of us from those DA days. And it's fascinating to go through that, and like we also have just hit like a big anniversary of that time of our lives that we've realized.
It just came, what was it?
This past week
yeah.
was like the 10-year anniversary of like the Osama bin Laden thing, which was like our big, it was our first day as editors at the DA. We had been working together. This was a good year after the first ever basically DA podcast was recorded in the Hartford Hilton. So we had already been good friends. We were editors together at that point, and we kind of had that crazy night covering the bin Laden thing and all the riots. And I of course missed out on all of it because I had like a 7:30 final the next day. And I was like, this stuff's going to be done in like an hour. And then it was all night.
It's just wild. Like, and I don't think anyone I talk to like appreciates it. Like Mariel does, like she doesn't understand it.
But like I saw it described perfectly by somebody, and it's nobody who like worked with us or anything, but it was a WVU account that was like, that night is like the quintessential Morgantown story that if you lived it, it was the best. If you did not live it, you don't get it at all.
You're just like, what you like,
you're
burn something? Because here's the thing that was so interesting. Every other Saturday and Sunday night in Morgantown, like when things get crazy and people were drinking too much, there's always like this weird anger and like drunk rage. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of obnoxious, right? After football games, there's this like drunk rage. This was a Sunday night at like 11 o'clock.
It was like, so late.
That's no one was drinking when it happened. Like once it started to leak, I think we got word at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and I'm probably getting all the times mixed up. Like Obama was going to say something. It was like an AP news alert that Obama was going to say something.
We literally were putting the paper away.
It was about to go out. It was a Sunday night.
About
it was
to be done.
Easy.
And we're like, hell, this is whatever. It's going to be.
We should probably wait, maybe throw an AP story on the second page of news or something like that.
And then it happens and everything goes crazy. And
but people weren't, I think people weren't drinking. Like, yes, people started drinking later in the night.
Right.
But there wasn't this like drunken, immature rage. I mean, you could make an argument that burning things was immature, but it was like this like, it was like this weird like unifying moment.
It was a euphoric moment.
Yeah.
Of like a university, like, because I mean, it's hard.
There were a lot of kids that went from West Virginia who are from like New Jersey and New York and like and DC, and 9/11 like impacted a lot of people. It's not like it was a southern place. Like there are a lot of kids who come from the Northeast.
That's a really good thought. I genuinely, until this moment 10 years later, had never thought about it.
So the reason I always sticks with me is that, the photo Matt took and it ended up in the New York Times. There's a picture of this kid. He's like this short little kid, and he's on top of the shoulders of this guy holding a flag.
Yeah.
And the fire's right in front. And that kid was my resident.
Oh, okay.
And he was from New York. And I was talking to him about it after it. And he was, because I was like, hey, like, you can't be like in picture. Like, I don't want you to get in trouble. And he's like, look, like, this was a big moment for me. Like 9/11 was bad for my family.
Yeah.
And like, it was just like a really happy moment that there was finally like closure around this. So it was just, man, what a night that was though. I feel like every May, like in 10 years is, but but yeah, just a wild night, one that I will never get and no one will ever understand.
Yeah. And also another thing that nobody will ever understand that I also wanted to talk about that was really cool is, so because the semester is over now at WVU and stuff like that, school year's done, people are graduating, meaning the people who currently work at the DA are finishing. And it was, we found out last week that like they are
Well,
continuing.
the DA is a much different place now. And
It is way different.
Like much different. It's not the same. It's not set up the same. Like
drastically. It's so
awful.
far. Yeah. It's changed a lot. They're for good and bad. Well, I don't know. A lot of good.
PR boy. But yeah, fine. There's some
been
good.
They've got some really good people there right now.
It has gotten better. I feel like the first couple of years during the transition, it was a little rough.
They had that transition to where the like media college was looking over it, and that was a thing that we felt very passionate about in certain ways. But no, it's fascinating to see the way that it's changed so much. And I think we kind of just assumed that everything was so different.
Right. I mean, you see pictures of inside the newsroom. They have like nice computers. Those blue desks are gone.
Gosh, I'm so
like
jealous of
they have couches and stuff. Like it's a totally new place. So we just figured everything was gone.
Yeah. And then the other day we see a tweet from one of the outgoing editors of them continuing a tradition that our groups started.
And I think you made the point this morning. So it's the DA sports wall.
Yes. It was, I think it's no longer there now.
Oh, it's moved location.
I think it's to a different part of the office now.
Oh,
because I've seen photo. That was why I got bummed, because it was gone. I feel like I saw a photo of like what was the sports office, quote unquote office, the sports side of the newsroom. And it wasn't there anymore. And I was like, oh, that sucks. The wall's gone. And basically what the sports wall was we would find basically humiliating photos of people that we knew, funny photos of each other that like our photographers took during games, stupid social media posts from people who cover the team. It basically was like a meme wall.
Yes. Before memes were a thing.
Memes had been a thing, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. Right.
It was the sports meme wall. And then by the time, so it was actually the same year as the Bin Laden thing. So 10 years now. Tony Dobies, Dave Ryan, Brian Gothard, that group that left, we decided to start a thing where the outgoing people signed the wall, it was a bulletin board basically.
Yes.
And that was a thing that just started happening at the end of every year. Whoever the outgoing senior editors were would sign the wall. And we saw the photo the other day the kid posted of him signing the wall, and we're like, oh my God, it still exists. And like,
yeah, I mean, their
the
little
snippet we saw were like all these names and then like still photos of the stuff that we put on the wall back then.
I mean, I remember some of those photos when they were hung up.
Yeah.
And I just remember,
I would say a large majority of the ones that are up there still today, we hung up ourselves. Like we printed out and hung up.
So admittedly, I didn't remember signing the wall, and I was kind of bummed when we were texting about this. I was like, I don't know that I ever signed.
I mean, you had 8 years to do it. So
yeah, 6 years actually.
You also were like the Brett Favre of the DA, where you like left twice.
Yeah, the longest tenured DA employee in history, I'm sure.
It's impressive.
And yeah, but then I found my signature when he sent the picture today. I found it up there.
I had a hard time finding mine, and I realized why. And it's because I, for some reason, signed mine in green marker. So it was a little harder to see in the photo. But yeah, it was so cool to get to see like all the different photos of everybody that were in our groups like during the time. It's crazy to think that they like have not replaced those with other people.
Well, and the fact that you said they moved it, and I just asked the guy what wall it was on. But
of course,
the fact that they moved it and kept it, like that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Because someone there, and it wasn't any of the students, it was an adult. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Someone there recognized that was a cool thing, and they kept it. So they're earning back some brownie points in my eyes. That's neat. I can't wait to go back there one day. I was actually thinking about it.
March.
when I come back to the when I come back to West Morgantown to like watch a football game, like I want to go to the DA
Yeah.
and like see it, just to see
You
like,
got to.
you know,
Yeah.
it'd be fun.
March at the
March at the
conference
DA.
room.
We'll rent
March.
out the conference room for the week.
March in the conference room at the DA. We'll move the couches from the newsroom in.
I'm sure they can do some feature on it. You know, they can do
Yeah.
some live show. They can
Live
sell it.
stream where we can talk throughout. It'll work.
Fun
But
stuff.
I don't know, man. But did you want to get into the other thing we had? Because we do still have you were making breakfast for dinner.
Oh, breakfast for dinner. I forgot about that.
Yes.
I thought yes. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
We're all
Like,
over the place today.
what are your thoughts on breakfast for dinner? Obviously, breakfast is a great meal.
I love it.
You can go sweet, you can go savory, a lot of different things. When you eat breakfast for dinner, what's your go-to? Like,
so one of two things typically. Pancakes probably is like the main one. I'm a big pancake, bacon, that, some fruit, that kind of thing. Also though, chicken and waffles.
That's a lot of work though. When I say
I'm talking now. When I say chicken and waffles, I mean I'm gonna make waffles, which that can be toaster. That can be, I've got a waffle iron that I can make them myself if I want. And it can be like Tyson chicken tenders.
Okay.
That I just throw in the oven.
That's fair.
I'm not, I could, if I want to be adventurous and really do it, I can
fry
do the
some
whole
chicken,
thing.
baby.
But I'm talking, if I'm going breakfast for dinner, it's going to be like
easy, right?
Frozen chicken tenders that I, put on some waffles, put some syrup on, we're good to go.
So I feel like I used to like eggs a lot more, but I'm finding myself eating eggs more on a more breakfast food since I'm working from home. Like at 10:30, I'm like, after I finish my coffee, I'm like, I need to go make some breakfast. So I'll go whip up some eggs, love the pancakes. Love French toast too. I think that's a good one. Didn't have the ingredients for that, but I made waffles tonight on the waffle iron. We did like because we haven't gone grocery shopping in a while. So we have flour, we have baking powder, we have some sugar, we got some vanilla, we got some butter. You just throw it all together, got some milk.
Yeah.
Man, they were good. Threw some blueberries in them. It was just like, it was like you're kind of eating dessert too. You get like dinner and dessert in one.
A little sweetness. Yeah. That was
I just didn't know. Some people are like vehemently against breakfast for dinner. And I didn't know.
I love it.
You can't do it every night, but
no, especially because, like you said, a lot of times some of those, I mean, obviously things like eggs you can do to make it not that or whatever, but a lot of times you can get like some sweet flavors with it, and so It is kind of not an everyday thing.
But it was fun. It was good. It was yummy. It was threw it together, and we extend going grocery shopping at least one more day.
There you go, man. I'm looking at these 2-man shows, we go into it planning to do like, we'll get in and out 30 minutes. No big deal. It's just
what are we at right now?
We're at like 45.
Oh, shoot. Can I go 2 more minutes?
Do it.
I want to talk about the last thing.
Let's
go 8 hours. Let's go
an 8-hour full workday podcast. What do you think about that?
So I'm
one of the times that Nick is gone on paternity leave from the show.
It's going to load in his podcast app. We'll have to do long ones so we can listen to.
What if we do? What if we actually let's do an 8-hour workday pod? We'll get people rotating guests joining.
We'll take a lunch break.
Yeah.
So I've talked about my grill, and my grill is hooked up to natural gas. So I don't have to worry about like a propane tank.
Yeah.
Right? Like have you ever had to deal with like a propane tank when it comes to a grill?
Yeah.
Okay, like you get the propane thing from the grocery store. It's like $60, and whenever you run out of propane, you go trade it in. And it's like $20. Mm-hmm. I've never done this before. I know nothing about propane. I like the idea of propane and natural gas, like heating things, like kind of makes me nervous because I'm like, what's gonna blow up? Like I get nervous around the whole thing. So I brewed beer on Sunday, and I got this new burner that I can brew beer outside now. So basically when I'm brewing beer, my house doesn't smell like hops and like grains.
Yeah.
Much appreciated by the wife. So I had to go get a propane tank for the first time. And like, I didn't know, like, I don't know if there are different types of propane. Like I just like, whatever, you go to the store and the metal thing outside the store, and you need one of those things. And I tell you what, man, when I was hooking this thing up, so I got it home, whatever. I was like, are you allowed to like drive with him in the car? Like, is that like
How
they don't
else
let you?
would you get it
Well,
there?
I know, but they don't let you bring it into the store. Like, so I just like, if it's not safe to bring into the store, is it safe to like drive with? So I was like driving, like you hear these stories when like people are like driving their like newborn home for the first time and they're driving like super safe. Like that's what I was doing. I was driving like I had a baby in the back of my car because I don't want to get hit and the thing blows up. Hooked this propane thing in the burner and I was so nervous. Like I was reading the instructions. You had to like, there's no igniter. You have to like light it with a match. And I have like the propane going, you can hear it. And I was so nervous. You know how we talked about like when you hang up your picture and you're nervous the picture is going to fall down? For like the 4 hours, this thing was like boiling. I was just like, I would like smell stuff and I'm like, it should be smelling like that. Like propane, like you shouldn't be able to smell propane. Like, is the metal burning off of like I was freaking out the entire time.
Yeah.
It was so unenjoyable, the whole process. And I messed up the beer probably because I was freaking out that the propane something was wrong with the propane.
Did you actually mess up the beer, or are you assuming you did?
I'm assuming I did. The original gravity on the
Something just happened with your microphone and you're not talking now. Nope. This is great. This is going to be a fun edit.
What about now?
I got you. This is going to be a fun edit.
No, we're leaving it in. It's all natural, baby.
Leave it in. Just leave me looking like, oh God, is something bad happening?
Well, on that note, we should just wrap it up. You know, I don't like propane.
There you go. You don't like propane. We can talk about it again. Because I feel like Nick will probably have some insights on that. But yes, that is it for this week's show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, it was another. I love these 2-man shows.
They're great. They're great.
They end up just being stupid and like kind of chaotic fun.
Chaotic fun is a good way to put it.
Yeah. But yes, be sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to us. Give us a 5-star rating and review while you do that. I'm going to put you on the spot. Social medias and whatnot.
Oh, geez. Okay.
No looking.
Well,
no looking.
I'm not looking. Phoning It In Pod on Facebook.
You're totally reading.
Yeah, but it doesn't say what it's on. Phoning It In Pod is our social handle. You can email us at phoninginpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a message, a voicemail that is, at 304-627-1889.
That's right. And as always, a shout out to Miguel Silvaleone for our theme song. Check out Saving Miles Lemon on Spotify and Apple Music. And with that, that's all we have for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.